to a classroom near you. It's Dave and Rhiannon starring in the hit academic thriller, The History and Characteristics of New Media. The low-budget film was shot on smartphones in their homes in Indiana and Jefferson Hills.
This film is rated G for all audiences. So relax and enjoy the show. And please do not silence your phones as we will begin discussing the exciting world of new media. Beautiful handwriting, no? So I thought before we start doing the history of new media, it would be a good idea to define to everyone what new media actually is. So the term new media is actually a generic term for the many different forms of electronic communication that are made possible through the use of computer technology. And the term new media is in relation to old media forms such as print newspapers and magazines. We also decided to add to the definition that it is any means of media transmission that allows two-way communication and interaction, potentially blurring the line between users and producers. Now that we've defined new media, I'm just going to do a brief timeline in the history of the internet and other new media forms, and then I'll pass the ball off to Rhiannon, and she'll tell you the more interesting stuff about how we use it today. So our first important date is 1945. This is when ENIAC, the first mainframe computer, was built and tested. And this is identified as the beginning of the era of interactive communication. Next, we have 1960. This is when ARPANET first connected two computers on opposite sides of the United States. 1971. And this is when Ray Tomlinson invented the first integrated email service. In 1974, the first proposal to connect networks without a central governing body was put forth, and this is the basis for how the internet works. In 1978, Gary Thurk invents the first spam mail. Everybody hates this guy. Jumping ahead a little bit, 1991, this is when the first web page was published. In 1993, Mosaic, which is the first of the modern web browsers, or GUIs, was created. And I would mark this as the beginning of our current age of internet use. In 1999, the file sharing service Napster is created. In 2001, Wikipedia is first published. And I did use Wikipedia for some of these dates. Sorry. (2003) is the second really important date that we need to remember, because this is when MySpace and Facebook were both put on the internet. And I mark this as the beginning of our increased use of social media. In 2005 and 2006, we have the creation of YouTube and Twitter. And in 2007, we have two very, very important things. First, the iPhone introduces mobile web browsing to the larger public through cellular networks. And secondly, the website icanhascheeseburger.com introduced and popularized lolcats. And finally, in 2010, the picture sharing service Instagram is created. I don't know about you guys, but if you feel like looking at pictures of what your friends had to eat, you should check that website out. And that concludes our brief history of new media. Go ahead, Rhiannon.
Sorry, I was distracted by new media. So now that Dave has enlightened you about the history of new media, I'd like to describe some of the characteristics. Researchers at Ball State University cite a 2004 article by another researcher, Gephardt, that defines the characteristics of new media. They include, but are not limited to, the following. First off, new media include telecommunication networks that enable access and connectivity to other persons and information. And second, there is a digitization of content. Researchers at the University of North Carolina, Pembroke provide a website that is full of new media technologies that are a mix between interpersonal and mass communication, which is another defining characteristic of new media. 7 in 10 internet users across 24 countries say that they've shared some type of content on social media in the past month. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are among the top 5 most used social media sites according to Pew Research. 67% of internet users have a Facebook account, making it the dominant social networking site in this country. Not only do businesses use Facebook to promote their sales, provide coupons to people who like their business, but we also use it in the maintenance of friendships. We can obviously chat with people, post on their Facebook, and share pictures of ourselves as well as videos. Social media is not only used to help businesses and organizations become successful, but they're used in the maintenance of interpersonal relationships. Social media can be used to stay in touch with people who you may not see on a regular basis, for those who you may see on a regular basis, and celebrities. They are not only used in the maintenance of friendships, but also in romantic relationships. And a lot of research has been conducted on how social media can have positive and negative effects on romantic relationships. The percentage of internet users who have a Twitter account has more than doubled since November of 2010. And currently, 16 to 18% of internet users have a Twitter account. Internet users between the ages of 18 to 29 are most likely to use Twitter. So Twitter really developed the hashtag and popularized it. So as we can see right over here, here is what's trending. And we can see this from the hashtags. For example, if I click on this hashtag, which happened to be a contest run by Britney Spears, we can see what people are saying about Ask Britney Jean. It's been a trend for people to use hashtags incorrectly. Let's take a look at @SophieWithIt. Just picked a tick off my roommate's back. Who's the best roommate ever? Oh, that's right, me. Hashtag boom shakalaka. This is something that probably would not be searched. Instagram has arguably become the most popular place to share photos. We can take photos of ourselves, put certain filters on them so that they look a certain way, and share them with our friends. We also can follow celebrities and see what they are up to. Additionally, just like Twitter, we can use the hashtag to search for certain pictures. Here are some examples. If you recall, one of the defining characteristics of new media is the digitization of content. iTunes, which has been around for 10 years, provides us with digital music. It is currently responsible for 63% of all digital music sales. Also popular nowadays is streaming music with Spotify and Pandora, and with all of that combined, that has contributed to the decline of physical CD sales. So with the digitization of music, this now becomes this. Additionally, our smartphones could be considered new media because we have access to all of these great things that I mentioned, such as YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all on our phone. We are happy to answer any questions you might have. Just ask myself or Dave. Or consider using new media and text or tweet us your questions.